All right, it is Friday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to A734, the very first 734, I believe, in the history of this thing. Our producer who originated this, Chris Job, is back at the TV station. I am broadcasting from home today. Have we ever done this remotely, Chris? Chris says no. He says no. So this is a first, so kind of fun to be able to do that for you. We are broadcasting from my house today, and just, you know, part of the efforts here at CCO, we've been checking out different people, making sure we can do this from home in case for any reason we would need to do that. And so we did the newscast here today. We'll do mid-morning, and I still wanted to talk to you on the internet for the 734, so we're doing that. Let me bring you up to date on today's weather forecast, the 7:30 forecast, and it's going to be a beautiful day, nice and sunny throughout most of the day today. Chris, you have to help me a little bit because I don't have a monitor. What does the 7:30 forecast say? 77 at noon. So we're reading this together. It's going to be comfortable, I hear. 82 at 4, which is great. That's perfect bike ride weather, I would say. And then tonight, 78. So if you're looking for like a social distance, Friday night kind of driveway or fire pit situation, today should be good for that. So that is the 7:30 forecast done in perhaps the most awkward way as possible. And it's because of this, as you can tell, I am anchoring from home. This is the first time I've done this since we've all started kind of testing that out. A lot of you are working from home. And I do want to show you some of this. I posted a couple of pictures on Twitter to give you a sense of what the background looks like. And you see, I am in front of my kitchen right now. I'm currently sitting in, I don't know what we would call this room. What would you call this? It's like the kind of living room, I guess. We had a choice of backdrops. Like the living room has this kind of flowery, bright wallpaper, and then the kitchen is more, as you see behind me, it's white and good to go. So what we thought we'd do is give you a little fun on a Friday and let you say whatever you want about my backdrop. You want to rip on it, you want to ask questions about it, fire away. This is your chance to make fun of the TV guy's remote backdrop. You'll notice what I don't have in the background, and that is a bunch of bragging awards, because who cares? So you don't have that. We'll share some of that in just a few moments. In the news this morning, memorials and tributes do continue for George Floyd. The highest-ranking American at the Vatican will read a prayer service in Rome for him today. You saw that memorial service in Minneapolis yesterday. It was so moving, so moving. Let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of that. Maybe we can share that with you right now.
It was just amazing. Everywhere you go and see people, how they cling to him. They wanted to be around him. You know, George, he was like a general. Every day he walks outside, there'd be a line of people, like just like when we came in, wanted to greet him and wanted to have fun with him.
What happened to Floyd happens every day in this country, in education, in health services, and in every area of American life. It's time for us to stand up in George's name and say, get your knee off our necks.
Man, how dramatic and inspiring and moving was that, Reverend Al Sharpton, turning what happened to George Floyd into a rallying cry, get your knee off our necks. Tomorrow, a memorial is planned in Rayford, North Carolina. That's where Floyd was born. His funeral will be early next week in Houston. Rapper Kanye West has created a college fund for George Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. A representative told Variety he also donated $2 million to charities and legal funds linked to the deaths of Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor. We have set up a way that you can send your own personal condolences and messages of support to the Floyd family. Just go ahead and email those to condolences@wcco.com. We know so many of you wanted to reach out, and we have figured out a way where we can get all of those to George Floyd's loved ones, and I know that's going to be really meaningful to them. Boy, some dramatic stuff to watch in the city of Minneapolis today as the city council is holding an emergency meeting to talk about the police department. The council will get a couple of things. They're going to get an update on the state civil rights investigation into the police department, and they also will vote on a court order demanding immediate changes. But this is what we're really watching. A number of city council members have tweeted that they want to dismantle the police department. What specifically they mean about that, we don't know, but it sounds like they would like to. They have gotten to a point where they feel like the police department is irreparably broken and they want to start over. with something new. So we will be watching that and update you on what what they decide. 3 of the officers charged in George Floyd's death went in front of a judge for the first time yesterday. 2 Tao, Thomas Lane, J. Alexander King, all charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder. Those former officers entered a Hennepin County courtroom one by one wearing orange jumpsuits and masks while their attorneys made arguments over their bail. One attorney had some very strong words about the case against his client.
They have criminal intent for second-degree murder, and frankly, this is bull.
That's attorney Earl Gray. He is representing Thomas Lane, and Gray says the former officer actually gave Floyd CPR when that ambulance arrived. Gray also points out that Lane had only been on the force for 4 days, and he asked Officer Derek Chauvin twice if they should roll Floyd over while Chauvin pinned him to the ground. Chauvin charged with second-degree murder in this case. He has not gone before a judge yet. His first court appearance will be on Monday. Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz will get a first-hand look at some of the damage along Lake Street in South Minneapolis today. Other state lawmakers have already toured some of the damage from riots in Minneapolis and St. Paul. They did that yesterday. City is saying they got 200 buildings that are destroyed. And so many businesses, more than 100 businesses in that area alone. So that work only beginning. COVID has benched sports, as we know, from the kids who haven't been able to play spring sports at the high school level or the club sports or all of that. It's all been benched. Pro sports are getting back into action, at least trying to. Lots of disputes between the ownerships and the leagues and the players, but some of this is getting settled to keep everybody healthy and safe as best as they can. And the NHL announced that players can return to the ice as soon as Monday. It's going to be for conditioning only. Small groups. There will be limits to that. We don't know when games themselves will return, but they do have a bit of a format set. 24 teams will go straight into the playoffs. And the Wild make it. The Minnesota Wild make the playoffs. Wild were kind of turning things around at the end of the season. Their coach was fired. They have a new coach. And so who knows what's going to happen with all this time off, what the teams will be like, the league finalizing a playoff plan with the Players Union. The Timberwolves, no surprise, they're donezo. I mean, let's be real. Like, the Timberwolves were done, I don't know, about 3 weeks into the season, it felt like. NBA Board of Governors approved a 22-team format out of 30 teams when games resume this summer. They'll be at Disney World in Orlando. Each team will do like a play-in series first, so kind of a quick regular season with 8 games, and then playoffs will start. The Wolves say that Coach Ryan Saunders and the staff are still looking at creative and proactive ways to keep players engaged and ready for next season. The team has been very outspoken when it comes to the events that have been going on in Minneapolis. So that has, I think, been nice to see for fans. JCPenney is going to close more than 150 stores in 20 different states in the coming months. And a lot of stores in Minnesota are affected. 4 locations here. A lot of these locations are important to their suburbs or in freestanding stores. So Coon Rapids, Eden Prairie, Maple Grove, and Wilmer all losing their JCPenney. This is part of the bankruptcy plan. Those shuttered locations will have closing sales. We do know that virtual graduations are happening at some Twin Cities high school over this weekend. And this is one way to celebrate former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. A headline on All-Star Tribute to the class of 2020. It's for a special YouTube virtual graduation ceremony tomorrow. I don't know about you, but when I graduated, I did not have Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, or Beyonce as a part of my graduation ceremonies, but that will start at 2 p.m., so that should be pretty cool. All right, here we go. Let me have it. We are broadcasting from home. There are locations, or there are Twitter accounts all about this, kind of rating people's backdrops, talking about it. Our WCCO.com digital manager, the guru, the chief, Eric is with us. Not in my house.
Seth, wearing an IFB for the first time in my life. I've never had an IFB.
Is that weird?
It's very weird.
IFB is this thing, the little earpiece, yeah.
Anyway.
All right, what are people saying? Do I want to know?
Yeah, no, actually, everybody enjoys it. Lynn says, I enjoy seeing all the news reporters and staff doing weather in their home. It's more personal. Kelly likes the plants.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to read this screen.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Julie says, love the city pics. Jessica
Oh,
says
yeah.
DeRusha
All right,
from home
good.
is giving me kitchen envy. And by the way, Guy's been looking up the prices of things in your
Oh,
house.
thank
And nice.
That's
Nice.
What is he looking up? The price of what?
The
Is he looking?
glassware, I
did
think.
give a tour on the glassware. Yeah, I did give a tour. I bet he was looking up the Chihuly, the little piece of art I've got over here. I did give a tour of my whiskey and bourbon collection earlier, so on my Facebook page.
Yeah,
So
that
maybe-
made me jealous.
Maybe he was looking that stuff up.
Oh, and also
Yeah.
Jackie
All
says,
right. Well, that's.
oh, one more. I like when you two are together. Jason's
Yeah.
funny definitely is better when you two are together.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? Our boss, Carrie Patey, who, no one has to, I don't really kiss up to managers, but she's done a great job during all this. She texted us yesterday, Eric, and said we made her laugh.
Yeah.
She was not specific about what we did exactly.
And then you made her
It's
cry.
possible she was laughing at us. And then I did.
Just kidding.
It's pretty much how this goes. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Thanks for watching the 734. I do enjoy this time we have together, and I go back afterwards and read your comments. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Have a great weekend. And you know what? Will we be home? Will I be at work? Find out on this same internet channel Monday. We'll see you at 734.